What's up guys, Freddy Fishfinger here, and I am going to bring you Chapter 2 of the VGC Rulebook, and this time it's Perish Trap Teams, because Perish Trap Teams suck. And it's not difficult to pick a Perish Trap team, because you will see a Gengar, a Gothitelle, a Politoed, and most likely a Kingdra, just because the Kingdra will be able to function in the rain alongside Politoed in the event your opponent does not opt for the Perish Trapping. But the last two slots are very up to your opponent, and there could be some variation of a Follow Me Togekiss, a Rage Powder, a Moongus, Prankster Taunters, Mat Block Greninja, Crafty Shield Klefki, or something like a Scrafty, because it has Fake Out and Intimidate, which is a pretty helpful combination. Basically, the way to deal with Perish Trap teams is to take out the Shadow Tagger, because unless you can get rid of the Singer before it actually gets to sing, then, I mean, that Pokemon just sits there and is completely useless. It's the Shadow Tagger that's the problem, because that's the one keeping you in when you want to swap out and not have to worry about Perish Song. If you get rid of the Shadow Taggers, Perish Song becomes useless because it was just a wasted turn. So, therefore, the problems on a Perish Trap team are the Gengar and the Gothitelle. Ways of stopping the Perish Song in the first place is, of course, to taunt the Singer before it actually gets to use Perish Song. So, Prankster Taunters, Aerodactyl, Weavile, Alakazam, Electrode, Crobat, Floatzel, Swoobat, Greninja, Talonflame, Hawlucha, and Noivern all stop Gengar from getting the Sing off in the first place. Alternatively, you could do something a little bit different. Skydrop Aerodactyl, Skydrop Hawlucha, or even a Choice Scarf Dragonite that uses Skydrop will be able to cause a bit of a mishap on your opponent's part, unless they're really good, because Perish Song teams rely heavily on turn-by-turn plays. They want to sing on the first turn, protect on the second, swap on the third, sing on the fourth, protect on the fifth, and then on the sixth they can do whatever they want, because by then it's too late and the game's already won. That's how Perish Song teams want to work. So if that can be prevented, then that means that the team can be stopped. So we got to look into ways of killing the Shadow Taggers, because they're the ones that make the team so dangerous. So of course we're going to look into killing Mega Gengar off first. Now, there's not a whole bunch of Pokemon here. Some of them are very VGC viable, if not all of them, and some of them you would run in VGC in this particular way, others you may not. So, but they're all options and they're all viable in their own right, so I've looked into all of them. Mega T-Tar, it will kill Mega Gengar in one shot unless it's intimidated, as will a Adamant Scarfed T-Tar. A Banded T-Tar will be able to kill even with Intimidate. A Life Orb T-Tar will be able to kill 70% of the time with Intimidate. A Life Orbed Weavile will only kill without Intimidate. Mega Gengar itself will. A Life Orbed Gengar will. A Modest Scarfed Gengar has a 75% chance to. A +1 Scarf Malamar will be able to, or an 82% chance for a Life Orb Adamant Unboosted Malamar. Hydreigon has a 100% chance with an Expert Belt of killing it off. A Scarf or an Assault Vest Modest Chandelure will be able to kill it off. A Scarfed Garchomp will be able to kill it off. A Life Orb Gliscor will be able to kill it off. A 140 EV invested attack and Adamant Gliscor is probably very specifically designed to deal with this. Not sure whether that's something you want to consider, but it will be able to kill it off with an Earthquake. A Hippowdon, either you invest 108 points into its attack and keep it in Dish Nature, or you put 4 into its attack and give it an Adamant Nature, will be able to kill with an Earthquake. A Mamoswine has a 100% chance of killing it. A Nidoking will be able to do it with a Life Orb, whatever nature you want, or it will be able to do it if it is Modest and it has a Scar. A Steelix will also be able to do it with a Life Orb as long as it's Adamant. Now, unfortunately, these calculations are all based along the fact that the Gengar is going to have 252 HP and 252 speed. I figured that that's the decent way of looking into it, because Gengar really does appreciate the speed, and that's more likely how it's going to be run on a Perish Song team. This was also done with a timid nature. If that's not working out, then that means the calculations are wrong, and you want to be considering a more defensive spread for a Mega Gengar, or a more specially defensive spread for Mega Gengar. So if the suggestions that I've come up with are not right, that means the suggested spread that I thought of for the Gengar was wrong, and you're going to need to do calculations. Alternatively, you can do something a bit different. You can have Pokemon with Soundproof, Abomasnow and X-Blad, because they are unaffected by Perish Song, because they're soundproof, and it's a sound-based move. They are not necessarily the best things going around, but they are definitely not going to be expected by your opponent. Ghost types will be able to swap out, and therefore will not have a bigger problem against a Shadow Tag team. Unfortunately, Mega Gengar doesn't necessarily mind them, because it has a pretty high special attack stat, and will be able to hit your Ghost type super effectively with a Shadow Ball, unless you're running, I don't know, Sableye or Spiritomb. I'm not even sure if Spiritomb is VGC legal, but I know Sableye is. Leading with U-turners or Volt switches is also another viable option. They will probably take up a move slot on your Pokemon you already have, so it's really up to you whether you use one of those two moves. Unfortunately, the other part of the team that's so dangerous is Gothitelle, because it's the other Shadow Tagger. And Gothitelle is a lot more bulky than Gengar is, and it's a lot more difficult to stop, especially since there is no typical EV spread for Gothitelle in VGC. So in the calculations following, I have considered a maximum defense with a bold nature on the Gothitelle if I'm going to be hitting it with a physically orientated Pokemon, or if I'm hitting it with a specially orientated Pokemon, I've considered maximum special defense. However, Assault Vest I have not considered, because Gothitelle wants to include Protect, and it can't run that with an Assault Vest. So I wouldn't bother too much with the Assault Vest. The others I would consider. Unfortunately, the Pokemon that I came down to were some that I looked into when dealing with Gengar, and I was literally left with two. A Banded Tyranitar has a 75% chance to kill as long as it's not intimidated, and a Choice Specs Chandelure has a 63% chance to kill if it's modest. So it's very much going to have to hit the Gothitelle with both Pokemon, and that becomes difficult if you've got something like a Follow Me Togekiss or a Rage Powder or Moongus on the other side of the field. But alternatively, a Crafty Shield Klefki will be able to block Perish Song on the first turn from the Gengar. It becomes a little bit interesting, and your opponent's probably not going to like it, because their Pokemon is stopped. Both their Pokemon have a countdown already on them, but your Pokemon do not. This doesn't stop Gengar from going for Perish Song on the following turn, but it definitely causes a bit of havoc, which can work in your favor. So that is just about everything that I can do with a Perish Song team. Similarly to the end of the Kangaskhan video, if there is any other way that anyone has of dealing with a Perish Song team, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Somebody looking at the video later might come across yours, and it might be better than any of the options that I've come up with, etc, etc. The last thing I want to say, if you guys have anything that you are not sure how to deal with that you think I might have an idea in, or you want just an opinion, or etc, etc, leave it in the comment section below. I will see if I can do anything about it. Other than that, it's pretty much I'll be bringing chapter 3 of the VGC rulebook if that doesn't happen, and leave a like if you enjoyed this video and stuff like that. So yeah, Freddy Fishfinger out.